Used to be chill, it's all up in smoke. I think I'm still fun, parenting's a joke.
Hey, everybody, I'm back. I'm back with Andrea Marie. She is the founder of the nationally touring comedy show that is all moms. It's called Moms Unhinged. I'm proud to say that I am part of this collective of
Yeah.
funny moms that goes out on the road across the country, entertaining audiences of majority moms, but there are dads there. There
There
are
are.
dudes.
They are there, and they're scared.
They are a little scared, which I love that. I
I know.
love the slight discomfort. Sometimes
Yes.
they band together. There was 2 in the front row of our last show, and they somehow created an alliance even though they didn't know each other.
So fun. But they always come up to us afterwards, and they're like, "That was so great. We had so much fun." So it's guys, you don't have to be scared.
Yeah, and, I do think that this is what I've noticed. It's the confidence of men that I'm very I guess I want it, I look at it and I go, "Oh, I wish I had that." Which is you can literally say to a guy, "You're ugly and a jerk, and you don't do anything," and they might just go, "Yep." Another win, they're fine. How does
I
why
know.
why are you fine?
I
You're
know.
still
I know.
fine.
I would be in bed for a week.
Devastated. Devastated, punch you in the face.
I know.
So, I wanted to ask you as a mom, if you're willing to talk about this.
Mhm.
I know you date a little bit.
Mhm.
How's it going?
Well,
What's that like dating a empty nester?
yeah, I mean, just so it's kinda interesting. I got divorced in 2020, middle of the pandemic, had a Zoom divorce.
No.
Yes, I did. I did. It was actually surprisingly pleasant.
I
I
bet.
was I was like, "This is great." Actually, I recorded it. No, I'm just joking.
I think someone did for sure. Pretty sure the lawyers recorded it.
I know. But yeah, I didn't start dating for a while. I just gave myself a lot of space. And then it's been interesting. The apps are new. A
Yeah.
lot of people complain about the apps. I actually find them very efficient. I think, they're not great. Nothing's great. Things have changed. People aren't picking each other up in bars anymore. And I
No,
don't, I
rare.
don't know, I don't know if I want that anyway. But so it's
Right.
kind of efficient. You get a little bio, get a little cheat sheet on them, and you get to kind of decide. So I've had pretty good experiences, a couple weird ones, I learned to just make sure I always have a phone call first, just to kind of do a little vibe check. Because I'm efficient as well. I'm like, do not waste my time.
Sure. Oh god, that's the worst when you're
I
just
know.
like, "Tick tock."
I know, it is. Who we planned a hike, and I literally knew real soon. I was like, "Can we just turn this around and"
Did you say that?
I didn't, but I really was thinking, I'm like, "Could I fake an ankle injury?" I don't know.
You're
So
turning an ankle? Oh my god, now you're in acting
yeah,
school.
but it's actually yeah, and, unfortunately, we just ended a relationship not too long ago, and it is sad, but I feel like I'm really starting to just really get to know myself. I think that's what happens after empty nest, especially. You have all this time, and I think also in your 50s, you start to really feel more confident about your choices and about saying no and saying, "Hey, this isn't a fit for me," and not I used to try and be so nice, but it was a little weird when I was divorced. Now, my kids were older, so when they were home, I was starting to date a little bit, and sort of the nice thing about being divorced, of course, I wasn't dating while I was married, but I was but but you
Wow,
do
you
get
really
I know,
got honest on that
you
podcast.
you do have, set times where you're going to be completely free, and so
Yes.
it makes it easier to schedule, and it kinda weird too because sometimes you're working with their schedule and you're kind of finding what 5-2-2-5 plan are you on, or whatever it is, like
Right.
yeah, so
Okay, so then the last person that you were with, was that, boyfriend, girlfriend-like scenario?
yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, the other thing that's kind of interesting now is that I think, a relationship, like some people are really interested in marriage or that's their goal is to, and
They want a
yeah,
commitment.
yeah. And so it is like, when you're younger, you're kind of really working towards something sometimes like, oh, I know I want kids and I'm working towards that. So it becomes a little more intense. Whereas At this time, it's kind of loosey-goosey. You can have all types, people who are really interested in that, people who aren't like myself. I was like, "I don't know if I ever wanna get married again." We worked really hard. I know how much hard work it can be and how much therapy I went to, and that's expensive, frankly.
It is.
So it's an interesting time to be dating because, you know, you can have really different goals in your life, and you also have, you know, maybe a little bit more baggage, maybe a little bit more set in your ways in some things
Sure.
too.
So you're like intolerant to different kinds of things.
Yeah, you know, we had a ton of fun, and I'm sad that it ended, but there were just things that I realized just weren't quite aligned on, and it's just definitely hard because, you know, with any relationship, you're like, can we make this work?" And,
Right.
yeah, so
Right.
it's
Okay. At a point where you're just like, are we doing this for another year? Right. At a
yeah.
certain point, it just gets more serious.
Yeah, it kind of, and I can see where it sort of does need to progress towards something in some way.
Are you looking for anything particular? Are you like dads only? No dads only?
I do think that, having children makes a difference in, you know, you really understand sacrifice in a different way when you've had kids.
Yes. Okay.
So, yeah, it does change, you know, your outlook on your life and what you've been through, and also realizing how important, like, my kids come first, like, even though they're older, even though they are, you know, they're out of the house, everything gets dropped if they're, you know, if they need
Right.
me or if they're here, if they're something, you know, if something is happening. And I think you understand that in a different way if you've had kids, you know. I mean, some people certainly do. They do. But like,
Sure,
you know,
because maybe they had that with someone else in their life.
yeah,
But you're
right,
right. It's just not always. And honestly, I'll just put a big stereotype. Not always with guys, because a lot of guys were not asked to be put in in
mm,
that situation,
right.
especially men. I'm assuming you're dating and they're in your 40s or 50s. Maybe you're going for 20-year-olds. I don't know, Andrea. I don't know.
You know, I'm telling you, the guy I was just with, he was 8 years younger, and it is funny because he would say things like, "Well, that's from your era." I was like, "God, what am I, Jane Era? Jane Eyre or whatever, like Jane."
Right,
What am I,
exactly.
my era? What?
My
But like,
era.
I know.
Thank you, good sir.
I know. So I'll just go out, be outside in my carriage, you know, I like,
Right, exactly.
no,
You're
but,
right.
yeah, no, I think that I'm definitely open. I do think that I can't date too young for me. I just, you know, I think I like a certain level of maturity and, wisdom about your emotions and feelings, and I think that comes a little bit more with age and responsibility.
Let's hope.
Sometimes, not always.
Yeah, not always. You have a joke though about never receiving a dick pic. Has that
Yeah.
changed since you've been
That
out in
has
the
Yes, I never have, and I keep
Still?
saying right, right, and it is like I haven't dated a lot. I've only really had 3, like, boyfriends since my divorce, so
Okay.
it's not like I'm dating a ton, but I haven't received a dick pic, and I thought that would have changed by now, but I'm still excited that I haven't.
Yeah, exactly. I know there's some level of respect happening
I know.
in whoever you're hanging out with, which is nice.
Yeah.
That's how I'm gonna frame it. And I've never had this, but women have told me, like, on the New York subway, if your settings on your phone are, for whatever reason,
Oh,
to
right.
receive
Open.
all,
Yeah.
that they have just like, they don't even know. They don't even
Yeah.
know where it's coming
Yeah,
from.
where it's go I know, I've heard that, and so, that is wild. What? I don't even understand it. What is the allure? I
Yeah,
don't.
and also, why would you wanna be like, "Someone on this train has this dick." Wouldn't you want if you're sending it, don't you want credit?
Claim it.
I don't
Yeah,
get it.
claim it. Yes.
Do you when you because you have some reflection too just on, you have kids that are grown, so and so much has changed in parenting. Do you
Yeah.
look at us parents with the little kids and think we have it harder?
Oh, for sure. For sure,
Really?
I think, oh, yeah, I think you do have it harder. I think when my kids were young, phones didn't really come into play
Yeah.
until they were, at that point, teenagers, and we kinda put it off as long as we could. I mean, they were my youngest, I think, was 12, and some of his friends were getting phones, and we were kinda like, and I think phones and social media has just made parenting so much more difficult. I don't envy that at all. And I think even just the responsibilities of parenting, I don't know,
Increases.
it does.
I mean, every study that comes out, I even saw one this morning and I was like, "I can't do this again," is like, "We did a some sort of survey, parenting is impossible now. What is one unequivocally agreed upon thing that all kids wants? And the answer that they don't have, the answer is unsupervised play.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
this sort of idea that they all get dropped off at a playground, nobody's watching,
right,
and they do whatever they want, which I'm
right.
like, "It's not gonna happen. Can we stop
Yeah,
with this? It's just not gonna happen. We
yeah,
live in a fucking scary world,
yeah.
and I know a lot of it's bullshit, but we can't dial this all back."
I know, for sure, and my kids did have unsupervised play. They would go down to the playgrounds, they would go, and, I think it depends a little bit on, obviously, you're
I'm
in
in New York,
Brooklyn.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
you're in
it's,
New
you know,
York,
it's
it's
just the density
yeah,
is
yeah,
insane, so
it's
you
just
yeah.
but, I mean, I don't think it happens as often now, I think it's just yeah, it's definitely challenging, so
Do you look back on something you did as a parent and either go, "Yeah, that will always be the bad choice," or alternately, you can go a little, like, patting myself on the back, "I was all over that, and that was great."
yeah, I mean, some for sure, there's just so many mistakes, right? So many mistakes. And I mean, I think in general, my kids, it's funny because I kind of grill them a little bit now. I'm like, was that a good mom? Was it okay? And, and they're like, Mom, just relax.
Yeah, what's my
But
Yelp rating?
I know. But I had times where I got so mad and I would feel my eyeballs burning. It was like and they could see it, like, my oldest son was a little more sensitive and also a little more we would butt heads more,
Okay.
and so there were times where I was like, even now, sometimes I'm like, "Oh," and yeah, just kind of push my buttons in a way that I would just and he could see it. I could feel my eyes getting crazy and looking and he would get scared, and I thought,
Oh, wow.
"God." Yeah, and I just didn't like that. I wish I had somehow been able to not get quite as mad at him.
Emotionally regulate,
Yeah,
Andrea?
yeah. Step away,
Yeah.
go, think it through, whatever it is. And so, yeah, for sure, lots of mistakes along the way. They joke about one time I got so mad that they went down to Walgreens by themselves, which was just like 3 or 4 blocks away from our house, and they had some money, and I had a spending limit. I had some weird rules, like and they joke about my weird rules, like, for a while, I wouldn't let them watch SpongeBob SquarePants for some reason. I don't know. It was, like,
Twisted.
arbitrary. Yeah, arbitrary. I was like
Yeah.
so, yeah, they went down to Walgreens and they came back and they were arguing because Devin had gone over the spending limit and he got a 2 for deal on some candy, and they were arguing so much about it that I was just getting mad because they wouldn't drop it and they were just and finally I was like, "That's it, no trips to Walgreens for a month." And so then
Harsh.
so then it became, mom doesn't like us spending a dollar more than or whatever it was, like, that it became about, like, how he went over a dollar and then she banned Walgreens for a month,
Yeah. Right. So,
You know?
I do that a little bit too, like, when I lay down a boundary, it's not like, "You can't go to Walgreens this week."
Yeah,
I give it some insane
yeah.
like, I'm like, "For the next 400 days, you will have to," and that's never gonna first of all, it's not gonna come to be. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
right.
setting myself up for this not being followed through.
Yeah, 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 I know, it's so hard, and it's so hard 'cause, we're humans, and it is and we're doing our best, and it's just I was always so worried, and that is actually part of why I really love stand-up is because it allowed me to kinda process some of the feelings I had about motherhood and how hard it was, look at it in a funny way, and be able to look at the ridiculousness of how difficult it can be and how we're expected to do so much and how we're already doing so much and, just the crazy things that can come
Yeah,
up. So
absolutely. And then just because I wanna know this and, we'll end here.
Mhm.
So, little kids, and I'm sure you did this with your kids, you put them in a million activities because you don't know what they like, and
Yeah,
you wanna open the world and be like, "What is it? Is it baseball that you like? Maybe it's taekwondo. How
yeah,
about an instrument?" And, it's just so much money as
yeah,
I spread it around with this
yeah,
potpourri of
uh-huh,
activities. like I'm creating the ultimate Renaissance man of the
Yeah.
future. I got ballet lessons when I was a kid. I did not become a ballerina. And although I do think it really influenced my life in a super positive way, my mother would say to me, like, all those years, all that money wasted on ballet, all that money. So did any of the activities you put either of your kids in pay off?
Well, one of the things that they really ended up liking, we didn't go too crazy. We were trying to conserve money and things like that since I was staying at home and
Sure.
growing my business and things like that. So we didn't go nutty with it. But in fact, we would in the summer, we would go look for all the Bible camps to put them in because those were free.
So now they love
It was
Jesus.
I know. But no, but it was, me and some friends were, like, strategizing all this. But, no, one of the things that I do love that they got involved with, my youngest son is still really involved with, is ultimate frisbee, and
Oh,
that sport is so good. It's so fun to watch. It's self-reffed, so there's no refs. They have to work it out when there's a call with another team and they have to figure it out. And the team was so strong, and the partnerships and the connections were so strong all through high school. And now Henry is in the college team at IU in Bloomington, and it's just such a bonding activity and such a great sport to be very positive and uplifting. No contact, no I was
right.
always I didn't want them involved in
Football,
football. Yeah,
rugby,
so
brutal,
right,
yeah.
right, something like that. But yeah, so that activity has been really great. So,
Interesting,
yeah.
okay, and that's something I've never seen it around Brooklyn, probably for good reason, but I'm sure it's somewhere.
Yeah, it's not it definitely does seem to be in different pockets of the country. It's not everywhere, but, yeah, it's a great sport. I think it's somewhat growing because I have heard of more college, and high school team or places
Yeah.
that have had it, so
Alright, good to know. I'll look out
yeah,
for it,
yeah.
because right now I'm like, "I hope you become a ninja taekwondo electric guitar player, because that's what I'm paying for." It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna
Oh,
happen.
man. I know. It's so fun, though.
Thank you so much, Andrea. Again, everybody, if you have not seen one of the Moms Unhinged shows, this is the exact perfect thing for this audience. Doesn't matter if you're a mom or a dad or a parent of any kind, come to the show. It's just fantastic comedy that is all about the parenting experience, and also it's smart stuff. You get to see really smart comics. So those tour dates are always being updated. They're all around the country, and you can find that on the Moms Unhinged website, which is momsunhinged.com. Follow it at Moms Unhinged and all of your socials. And also, you can listen to Andrea host her own podcast. It's the Moms Unhinged podcast that just launched. So check that out. And thanks again. I'll see you on the road, Andrea.
Yeah, thank you, Ophira.
Hey, everybody. Thanks again for listening to this snack with me and Andrea Marie. Once again, you want to see me live with Moms Unhinged and some other great mom comedians. We are coming to all kinds of places. Actually, it's nationally touring. But if you want to come see me, I'm doing a show September 17th in Plainfield, Indiana, September 18th in Bloomington, Indiana, at some beautiful theaters. If you are near Iowa City, which if you are in that part of the world, maybe you are near Iowa City. I feel like you can drive to Iowa City from a lot of places in America, and it's just a couple hours, right? I'll be doing my solo show there. It's called Leaving a Mark, a comedy about scars in Iowa City at the James Theater on September 25th. Also, if you want to mark it down, I am recording a new stand-up comedy special. I'm doing it at the Comedy Cellar in New York City on Sunday, November 9th. I will be talking about all of this and more consistently. So that is what this fall is all about. And then maybe in winter, I'll just relax. Doubt it, though. Thank you again for listening. All the tickets, information, and more can be found at OphiraEisenberg.com. Don't forget to follow me at Ophira E everywhere except for TikTok. I'm at Ophira NYC. And subscribe to this podcast, Parenting is a Joke, so you don't miss an episode. See you soon.